A summer tale of fear and mystery, The Haunting of Norquist Pond. This story teaches us how a place's history and its beliefs can become a terrifying experience for anyone. Introduction to the story. The main character of the story is Jeremy Sanders, a 14-year-old enthusiastic boy. He goes to his cousin Kyle Barnes' house in Minnesota to spend his summer holidays. Both of them have similar interests, especially fishing. The story begins when Jeremy, waking up early one morning, takes his cousin's motor scooter and heads towards a nearby lake. This is his favorite thing to do. The first mystery, Tommy's disappearance. On the way, Jeremy meets a 12-year-old boy named Tommy. Tommy is wearing a yellow t-shirt, blue shorts, and lax shoes. Jeremy gives him a lift. Tommy tells him he is going to Norquist Pond and that his purpose is to get revenge. This surprises Jeremy. Tommy says a guy named Lars flipped his boat over. Tommy tells Jeremy that fishing at Norquist Pond is forbidden because the pond's owner, Olaf Norquist, doesn't like people, but there are a lot of fish there. Tommy's demeanor and the coldness of his body, which Jeremy feels despite wearing a jacket, start to seem strange. When Jeremy drops Tommy off near the lake and turns around, Tommy suddenly vanishes. This is the first incident that shocks Jeremy. The second mystery, the truth of Tommy's death. Jeremy arrives at the lakeside with his fishing gear. That's when he sees police cars, including the sheriff, with sirens blaring, heading down the same road where Tommy said he was going. Jeremy feels that something big has happened and follows them. Upon reaching Norquist Pond, Jeremy finds out that police divers are searching for a drowned boy. The deputy explains that a boy named Tommy Hilton drowned the day before, after his boat capsized. He was a good swimmer, yet he drowned. Hearing this, Jeremy is stunned. He tells the deputy that he gave the same boy a ride this morning. The deputy doesn't believe Jeremy, because the body the divers have pulled out has been in the water for at least 12 hours. Seeing Tommy's body, Jeremy starts to tremble. The deputy tells him to leave immediately. The third mystery, Lars' past. Returning home, Jeremy tells his Uncle Phil the whole story. Uncle Phil believes Jeremy and tells him the terrifying history behind Norquist Pond. In the 1900s, there was a surly and powerful boy named Lars who used to bully the village children. One day, some children decided to teach him a lesson. They caught Lars, put a sack over his head, tied his hands and feet, and hung him from a strong branch of a tree over the pond. The children repeatedly dunked him in the water and asked him to apologize, but Lars refused. The children left him hanging there, saying they would be back in an hour. But when they returned, the branch had broken and Lars had drowned in the water. Since he was tied up, he couldn't swim. Out of fear, the children threw his body into the middle of the pond to make it look like an accident. At that time, Lars' death was considered an accident. Uncle Phil explains that ever since, people believe that Lars' evil spirit lives in Norquist Pond and drowns people to get revenge. This story frightens both Jeremy and Kyle. The final showdown, Lars' attack and Tommy's rescue. A few days later, due to the extreme heat, Kyle and Jeremy go to Norquist Pond to fish again. Kyle, who has already broken his promise to his parents, goes into the pond to swim and provokes Jeremy to join him. Joking, both of them go further into the water. Suddenly, a large, gigantic, and angry face appears in the water. It was the spirit of Lars. Lars attacks Kyle first and tries to drag him under the water. Jeremy somehow saves Kyle, but then Lars attacks Jeremy. Lars begins to push Jeremy underwater. Jeremy's breath stops, and he feels like he will drown. Just then, a red boat appears, and an oar hits Lars hard on the head. Lars's grip loosens. A hand grabs Jeremy and pulls him out of the water. When he regains consciousness, he sees that his savior is none other than Tommy. Tommy was sitting in the boat, and it was he who hit Lars with the oar and drove him away. Seeing this, Jeremy and Kyle are surprised that the same Tommy they believed to be dead had come and saved Jeremy's life. Tommy silently rows the boat and disappears into the reeds, never to be seen again. Conclusion. This story shows us how bad events from the past can affect the present. Jeremy learns from this experience that no trespassing signs should always be respected. This story tells us the tale of two ghosts, a bad ghost who seeks revenge, Lars, and a good ghost who helps, Tommy. It shows that not all ghosts are evil. and some spirits wander not for peace, but to help.